Chapter 14 Bane of Trolls. He didn't awake again until hearing the scrape of the key in the chapel door, and sat up to all the inhabitants of the shrine filing in for morning service. The dream already half forgotten, he quickly rolled up his mat to one side of the room and took a seat, to the nodded approval of the chaplain. This service was more involved than the evening one, for both the chaplain and captain were supplicating Tyr for their daily blessings and spells. As in the evening service, the garrison attended to their oaths and sermon in harness. That explained how they'd all been prepared so quickly the morning before, Gaheris mused. He'd noticed that at other times, only two were on duty at a time, and the others out of armor. He also couldn't help but notice that Miri Buckman's prayers centered a lot around revealing the truth. He shifted uncomfortably in the pew and thought to mutter a short prayer to Tyr for forgiveness. It seemed the right thing to do where he was, and considering whose clutches he was in. At the end of the prayers, Captain Whitestone stood and faced Gaheris as the soldiers began to file out of the chapel, the chaplain behind him. "Well, Stead, I said we'd talk. We're happy to have rescued you, but I don't like secrets in my chapel. What really brought you running to our door with night masks on your heels?" Gaheris quickly affected a look of confusion. "Night masks? What do you mean?" The captain dropped a tool pouch and a coin purse on the pew. The first he recognized as his own lockpicks. He might have known, he thought glumly, and out of the second spilled the same kinds of silver and copper coins Gaheris had seen all his life. "Uneducated guess, but you had those, and your pursuer carried Westgate-minted coinage and was obviously a skilled assassin," he said, absent-mindedly feeling under his right armpit. "I'm no expert, but I'd think it would take quite a bit to get the thieves of Westgate to pursue you on this side of the Dragon Reach, either an assassination contract or some direct affront to the guild. Am I right?" Gaheris said nothing. "I think there might have been truth in what you said yesterday. No one hires assassins or sends their own to chase down someone your age and apparent degree without a very good reason. I think you did kill some of them. If you did, I'll shed no tears, but I want to know about it." "I don't know anything about the Nightmasks apart from their bad news. I came from Saarland and was going to Arkandale." Whitestone sighed. "Chaplain Buckman, if you please." Miri Buckman began the initiators of a spell when shouts of alarm came from outside, followed by an uncomfortably familiar roar. Captain and Chaplain both looked at the door in alarm. "We'll finish this later," said Whitestone as he strode to the door, drawing his sword as he went. Chaplain Buckman followed close behind, hefting her warhammer. After a moment's hesitation, Gaheris followed. The sight that greeted him was an enormous troll pushing in the unbarred gate, the guards fanning out between it and the statue. Gaheris backed up to the left, staying back against the rear wall in terror as he thought he recognized the beast from the bandit attack. Had it somehow followed him? The troll swiped at the guards as it sniffed the air before its beady eyes fixed on Gaheris. Shouting something unintelligible to him, it tried to bull through the guards in his direction. The two on his side of the statue raised their shields and stepped in swinging, one sword biting deep into the creature's thigh. It grunted, seized the poor man in both hands, lifted him off the ground, and bit him in the face. His scream was cut short as it proceeded to bodily rip him open.
"Ivor!"
Miri's shout of alarm was followed immediately by the initiators of a spell. A glowing sword appeared out of thin air next to the troll and took a swing, biting into its shoulder. Captain Whitestone charged, his sword glowing with power as he hewed at the giant with all his strength. That got the beast's attention. It stopped coming for Gaheris and turned to face the paladin, its wounds already sealing shut. Whitestone voided one claw, but the other caught at his shield, ripping it from his arm. Taking his sword in both hands, he answered with a mighty swing, but the troll batted it aside. The chaplain had come over towards Gaheris when the troll had started towards him, but now hefted her hammer to go aid her captain. "Miri, where are my weapons?" She paused. "You're going to need me. Where are they?" he asked again.
"Armory. The tower on the southeast corner. Go!"
She charged, even as her spiritual weapon took another swing, bashing the troll in the back of the knee. It barely seemed to notice. Gaheris took advantage of the distraction and ran towards the tower she'd indicated, circling the melee. To his mild surprise, he found the door unlocked. The room was full of weapons and armor, but his daggers and long knife stood out, sitting against the end of an armor rack. Seizing them and taking a moment to strap his wrist sheath back on, he ran back outside. He could probably make the gate, he thought. The troll had moved into the chapel's courtyard and might not notice him as he made a break for it. He hesitated for a moment, but then saw it hit both Captain Whitestone and Chaplain Buckman. It swatted the paladin aside and bodily seized the cleric, her swing with the hammer skipping off its warty arm as it lifted her towards its mouth. Her spiritual weapon hit it across the face, causing it to scream, but it maintained its hold. Oh, that tears it, thought Gaheris. Taking stock, he ran up the stairs to his right onto the top of the ramparts. The guards moved in to try to rescue their chaplain as Whitestone regained his feet, but they would be too late. Gaheris took 2 steps along the parapet wall and leaped, knife held high. He wasn't sure what happened next. He was aiming for the troll's neck, hoping to sever something vital. This he did, but he felt a strange power flow through his arm as his weapon began to glow white. The blow felt more sure than any he'd thrown in his life, and his knife slipped into the troll's flesh straight through the neck. He ripped sideways, tearing the blade out the side of the neck. Black blood fountained from the jagged wound. The troll dropped Miri and began to thrash with its long arms, trying to reach Gaheris to pluck him from its back. The knife came up and went down again, still with a strange glow. As one of the long arms levered back and almost reached him, he let go and slid down the creature's hunched back, dropping his dagger into his left hand and stabbing with both as he passed the creature's kidneys, twisting the blades as his slide dragged him back out. As he landed, Captain Whitestone stepped in and took a mighty 2-handed swing into the creature's guts. It shuddered and fell, but the wounds, grievous as they were, had already started to close. "A torch! Quick!" The captain swung his sword down again as one of the surviving guards rushed to obey, running to the storage room in the opposite tower. A few moments and a lot of heavy blows to the troll later as it rapidly healed, he emerged with a bundle of firewood, lamp oil, and several torches. "Hurry!" The man emptied the jar of oil onto the troll's face and started applying a flint and steel to the torch. After a few moments, it caught. He promptly lit the oil. The troll shrieked as it died, the fire overcoming its healing factor and sending it to oblivion. The smell was atrocious. Miri Buckman rose to her feet while the fire was lit, clutching her side, but rather than tend her own wounds, she rushed over, stumbling a bit, to the fallen guard and knelt, feeling for a pulse. She tried a spell to no effect. After a few moments, she shook her head as the captain walked up behind her.
"He's gone,"
she said sadly. "Ivor died doing his duty. The Triad will welcome him with open arms. Tend to the living, Miri. There will be time for his rites when you're no longer bleeding." He reached out and touched her side where the troll's claws had dug in, his hand bathed in a watery blue glow. The light flowed into the wound and started to bind it up.
"Thank you, Randall,"
she answered, nearly whispering.
"You're right, of course."
She stood and turned to face the others. Gaheris was standing awkwardly behind the half-aflame corpse of the troll, looking in their direction, the 3 surviving guards watching the beast intently, only just starting to relax as it became clear the flames had put the regenerating horror down.
"This debris befouls the Chapel of Tyr,"
she pronounced in a clear voice.
"Remove it from this place."
The guards jumped to obey, Gaheris and their officers with them, seizing the giant by the legs and with effort dragging its flaming upper torso out of the gate. The work finished, the 6 filed back into the courtyard. "Bar the gate," ordered Captain Whitestone. "I want no more surprises today. We need to see to Ivor." The heavy bar in place, the inhabitants of the chapel gathered Ivor's body and laid him in state as best they could with the condition he was in at the feet of Resounding Justice. That done and prayers said over his corpse, Captain Whitestone turned to Gaheris. "Well, Stead, it seems I should be thanking you. Perhaps we should name you Trollbane. Why didn't you tell us?" Gaheris looked in honest confusion, having been lost in thought. "Tell you what?" "I saw what you did to the troll. You have the blessings of one of Tyr's paladins, yet you said nothing." "I don't know what you mean. I don't know what happened, it just sort of did. My knife has never done that before." "You mean you don't know?" The captain's silver eyes went wide in recognition. Miri broke in.
"Captain, I think we may have just witnessed his calling."
"Calling? What do you mean?" "She means paladins are called to service by the gods. Tyr decided to bless you when you risked yourself to protect this holy place. That much is clear by his guiding of your hand." Captain Whitestone reached across to place a hand on Gaheris' shoulder. "Whether or not you keep that blessing is in your hands. Tell me, what really brought you here?" Gaheris' resistance broke. He knew that to continue the charade would be wrong, and suddenly desperately wanted to prove worthy of what the captain was saying of him. "My name is Gaheris. I don't know my parents and have no last name. You were right, I am from Westgate. With that, the story of the past several days came out. The captain and chaplain sat and listened until he was finished, by which point the boy was nearly in tears. They both looked at him for a few moments before Miri broke the silence.
My parents fled the Civil War in Tether with me when I was a girl,
She said to him.
I know what it is to be forced from your home. It seems to me, from what you say, that Tyr has been calling you for some time, and you simply couldn't answer.
What do you mean? Whitestone broke in. You didn't have to do any of this. You could have chosen to escape the shop without ever encountering the brutes. You could have left Reeves. You could have let your pursuers kill the Amblecrags and escaped cleanly, and you didn't say it, but I know you could have run from here during the attack. You've been doing the right thing, and I dare say serving justice, at risk and cost to yourself the whole time. He smiled thinly. Of course, there's the matter of thievery. Gaheris went pale. Your deeds buy you some leniency, though make no mistake, you will do penance. But that penance is not mine to assign. So what happens now? I sent to the temple in Selgaunt for a Justicar to come and collect you. That's in motion. We see what he says.